Why is simplicity the new luxury? Have you ever paused in the middle of a crowded room, surrounded by conversations, lights, and laughter, only to realize you feel utterly empty? We live in a world that never stops, phones buzzing, deadlines chasing, notifications screaming for our attention, more gadgets, more goals, more noise, and still something feels missing. We are constantly chasing something: success, wealth, validation. But the faster we run, the further we seem to drift from peace. Think about it. You wake up, reach for your phone, and before your feet even touch the ground, you've already consumed more information than a monk in ancient India would hear in a week. We scroll endlessly. We hustle endlessly. We compare endlessly. And yet, in this sea of more, we are silently drowning in less joy, less connection, less meaning, less of ourselves. Here's the quiet truth no one dares to say out loud: having more doesn't mean being more, and busyness isn't the same as purpose. So what if the answer to feeling more alive isn't about adding, but about letting go? There's an ancient wisdom that whispers through time, soft, but steady. It comes not from billboards or social feeds, but from within, from the heart of the Buddha's teachings. It says, live simply, and you will live fully. Simple doesn't mean small. It doesn't mean giving up life. It means finally being present in it. It means choosing what matters, and having the courage to release what doesn't. This is not about minimalism as a trend. This is about simplicity as a spiritual revolution, a return to what's essential, a reawakening of what's real. In this journey, we won't ask you to abandon the world. We'll simply show you how to live within it, with peace, presence, and purpose. Because the greatest luxury in today's world is a quiet mind, a clear heart, and a life uncluttered by unnecessary craving. So let's begin, not with more answers, but with better questions. Are you ready to discover why less might be the most abundant thing you've ever known? Imagine standing at a crossroads. To your left, excess. A road paved with possessions, status, and relentless striving. To your right, extreme renunciation. A path of denial, retreat, and isolation. Most of us, we live swerving between the two. We binge on ambition and success, only to crash into burnout. We chase relationships, approval, recognition, then retreat into silence, numbness, or cold disconnection. Back and forth. Back and forth. But what if peace lies in neither extreme? What if there's a way to live fully, without drowning in the world, or abandoning it? That's exactly what the Buddha discovered under the Bodhi tree over 2,500 years ago, after years of indulgence as a prince, and years of self-torture as an ascetic. He realized that truth lives not in the extremes, but in the balance. He called it the middle way. Not too much, not too little, not about fleeing life, but flowing through it mindfully, not about rejecting joy, but not being enslaved by it either. The middle way is the art of enough. It teaches us something radical in today's world. You don't have to abandon your job, your family, or your city life to find peace. You just have to stop being consumed by it. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man named Alex, a rising star on Wall Street. He had everything society celebrates: a corner office, a penthouse view, a car that roared like success. But every night, he came home to silence that echoed louder than the city outside: anxiety, insomnia, a quiet sense that he was winning the wrong race. One weekend, he stumbled into a silent meditation retreat, just to de-stress. He expected boredom. Instead, he found clarity. He didn't quit his job. He didn't shave his head, but he shifted. Deeply. Subtly, he stopped scheduling every minute. He started breathing before reacting, listening before speaking. He donated more, slept better, laughed easier. He discovered the middle way, not as a religion, but as a rhythm of living. This is what the Buddha offers us in the 21st century, a path of balance in a world of extremes, a way to be in the world, but not lost in it, to still pursue your dreams, but from a place of peace, not pressure, because the middle way isn't boring, it's beautiful. It's where joy doesn't need drama, where success doesn't cost your soul, where simplicity doesn't mean sacrifice, but awakening, in a world that screams more. The middle way whispers, just enough is enough. So ask yourself, in the chaos of modern life, are you pulled toward the extremes, or are you ready to walk the path that leads to stillness, to clarity, and to the version of yourself that doesn't need more, just meaning? Let's keep walking. Let's get one thing clear: simplicity is not about having less, it's about being less owned by what we have. We often confuse possession with power, but what if we told you, the more you cling, the more you're chained? Look around your room, look inside your phone, look within your heart. How many things have you collected, not because they serve you, but because they define you? We're taught to wrap our identity in titles, brands, followers, homes, but the Buddha saw through this illusion long ago. He said, attachment is the root of suffering. That attachment doesn't only apply to people or relationships, it includes your career, your image, even your routines. It's not the objects themselves that bind us, it's the meaning we attach to them. This watch means I've made it. This house proves I'm worthy. This relationship defines who I am. And so, we hold on tighter, and the tighter we grip, the more afraid we become of losing it all. But here's the beautiful paradox: freedom begins not when you lose something, but when you stop needing it to feel whole. Let me tell you a story from the Zen tradition. There was once a young monk named Tenzin. Before joining the monastery, he lived a luxurious life, dressed in fine clothes, with expensive tastes. Even after ordaining, he kept one thing hidden in his robes: a gold coin. A last tie to his old world. One day, his master saw it drop on the ground. Without anger, the master simply said, "You left the palace, but the palace hasn't left you." Tenzin stared at the coin. For the first time, it didn't feel like safety, it felt like a shackle. He dropped it into the river. That night, he slept deeper than ever before. That's the magic of simplicity. It's not poverty, it's liberation. You don't have to throw away your belongings, but you can begin to ask, do I own this? Or does it own me? Am I using this to grow, or to distract from what's missing inside? When we free ourselves from craving, we begin to taste real joy, not the joy that comes and goes with conditions, but the still, silent joy that lives within awareness itself. True simplicity isn't about deprivation, it's about liberation from dependence. And when we stop needing things to fill the silence begins to sing. So here's the invitation: don't ask, what should I let go of? Ask, what am I still clinging to that no longer serves my soul? Because when you release, you rise. Let's continue this path, one quiet step at a time. We clean our homes, we organize our closets, but how often do we declutter the mind? In today's world, we are never alone, yet rarely present. Notifications, deadlines, background noise, 1,000 tabs open in our heads, none of them fully loading. No wonder we feel breathless, even when we're standing still. But here's a truth most people miss: stillness is not what happens when the world becomes quiet, it's what happens when we do. In Buddhist practice, stillness isn't just a lack of movement, it's a deep inner settling, a clarity beyond thoughts, a space inside where awareness rests like a calm lake. And that space is where true peace begins. Let me tell you about Mia. Mia was a young mother, working 2 jobs, raising 3 kids, constantly juggling a million things. Life felt like a sprint that never paused, until one day, she collapsed in a parking lot, not from illness, not from injury, from sheer, relentless mental exhaustion. At the hospital, the doctor said something strange: there's nothing wrong with your body, but your mind is on fire. That was her wake-up call. She didn't have time for retreats, no monastery, no mountains, but she did one thing: she claimed 5 minutes of silence every morning, just 5 minutes. To sit, breathe, and do nothing, no phone, no thoughts to chase, just breath and presence. Weeks later, she wasn't just functioning, she was flourishing. Same life, same chaos, but inside, a sacred space had opened, and that changed everything. Because peace isn't about what's happening around you, it's about the space you create within you. In Buddhism, there's a word for this, samatha. It means tranquility, a mind so still, it reflects reality as it truly is, and you don't need to escape to a forest to touch this stillness. You can find it, in the moment before you answer a call, in the breath before you speak in anger, in the pause before you chase yet another task. Stillness doesn't mean stopping life, it means showing up fully, in the middle of it, just one breath, just one mindful moment is enough to shift your entire day. So here's a simple question: what would happen if I gave myself a little more space to breathe today? Not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, because when the mind is full, we feel empty, but when we learn to empty the mind, we begin to feel whole again. Let's keep walking. Still, soft, present. Have you ever tried to pour tea into a full cup? You can keep pouring, but nothing stays, it just spills, overflows, and wastes the very essence of what you're offering. This is how many of us live. Our minds are full, our schedules are full, our closets, our homes, even our conversations, too full to hold anything meaningful, and so we miss the real treasures of life. There's a Zen story, simple, but unforgettable. A scholar came to visit a Zen master to learn about enlightenment. He boasted of all his knowledge, reciting scripture after scripture. The master listened silently, then began pouring tea. He poured and poured, until the cup overflowed. Stop! The scholar shouted. Can't you see it's full? The master smiled. Exactly. You came full, how can I offer anything if you hold on to everything? This is the paradox of simplicity. When we empty ourselves of what doesn't serve us, we become available to what truly nourishes us. In today's culture, we confuse fullness with fulfillment. We think more friends means more connection, more money means more security, more tasks completed means more worth. But deep down, we know something is missing. Let me share a story with you. Liam was a successful architect in New York. Big projects, big paycheck, big stress, every hour was scheduled. He had everything, except one thing: peace. One weekend, he visited a Buddhist retreat by accident, just trying to escape the noise. There, someone asked him, "When was the last time you Saturday and did nothing?" He laughed, then paused. He couldn't remember, so he tried it. 1 hour. No phone. No plans. Just sitting. At first, it felt useless. Boring. Pointless. But then, something shifted, a space opened, not in the room, in his heart. For the first time, he didn't feel pressured to be anyone. He didn't feel the weight of proving, chasing, or earning. He felt enough. That 1 hour changed how he saw everything. He didn't quit his job. He didn't become a monk, he just began to live. With more space inside his cup, and because of that space, he began to truly listen, to his wife, to his breath, to life. The Buddha once said, "You only lose what you cling to." And when we let go of excess, not just in stuff, but in thought, comparison, ego, we don't become poor, we become rich in what actually matters. Joy becomes vivid, presence becomes possible, and gratitude arises, unforced, unchaste, unshakable, because a cup that's half full can be filled, but a cup that's already full, it can't hold even a drop of joy. So here's the gentle question for you today: what can I set down so I can hold more of what truly feeds my soul? It might be a possession, it might be a belief, it might be an identity you've outgrown. Whatever it is, release it, because having less isn't about losing, it's about making space for something deeper to arrive. Let's breathe. Let's soften, let's let go, so we can truly receive. I'll be happy when. That's the story we keep telling ourselves. I'll be happy when I get the new phone, when I get that raise, when I lose 10 pounds, when everything falls perfectly into place. But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud: happiness doesn't live in the when. It lives in the now. And now is already enough, if we know how to see it. The Buddha taught us something powerful: contentment is the greatest wealth. Not because we give up on our dreams, but because we stop tying our joy to things that constantly change. In a consumer world, everything is designed to tell you, you are not enough, your life is not enough, but maybe. If you buy this, you might be, but when we chase endlessly, gratitude becomes a stranger, and when gratitude is a stranger, peace is impossible. Let me share a moment with you. Ella was an entrepreneur, fast-growing business, shiny lifestyle, always hustling, but one night, stuck in traffic, watching rain blur her windshield, she broke down, not because she failed, but because she didn't know how to enjoy what she already had. In that quiet breakdown, she remembered something her grandfather once told her. Every morning you wake up breathing is already a miracle, don't let the world convince you otherwise. That night, she made a tiny promise, to write down 3 things she was grateful for. Every day, no matter what. Some days, it was big, like landing a client. Some days, it was small, like the smell of morning coffee. But something strange began to happen. Her joy stopped depending on outcomes. She didn't become less ambitious, but she became more alive, more present, more at peace, because gratitude changed what her eyes could see. Gratitude is not a reaction to getting what you want, it's a state of mind you choose, even when life feels imperfect. It doesn't mean pretending things are always good, it means realizing that something is always worthy. Even in hardship, there is breath, there is a lesson, there is life, and that is enough. In Buddhism, we speak of santosha, contentment, not the dull, numb kind, but a vibrant, awakened appreciation for what is, here, now. So how do we live this? Try this, before your first sip of coffee or tea. Pause, feel it. Smell it. Be present with it, before you scroll your phone. Name one thing you're grateful for, out loud. Like a prayer. A declaration. When things don't go your way, say, this moment is part of my path, what can I learn here? Gratitude is a muscle, the more we use it, the stronger it becomes, and suddenly, we stop asking, what's missing? And start whispering, wow. Look at what's already here. Let me leave you with this, you are already standing in the middle of a miracle. The question is, can you feel it? You don't need to collect more to feel rich, you just need to open your heart, and notice what's been there all along. Let's slow down, let's breathe, let's return to the wealth of enough. We've come full circle, from the chaos of modern life to the quiet stillness within, from the noise, to the simplicity that makes us whole. What do we find at the end of this journey? Is it a set of answers? Is it a checklist of things to do? No, it's something much simpler, something that's always been there. In the quiet space between thoughts, in the spaces between breaths, we find ourselves, we find the path home. Buddhism tells us that enlightenment isn't something we need to go out and find, it's not a destination, it's a return to what we already are, whole, complete, enough. The simple path home is the path of awareness, the path of returning to the present moment. The path of gratitude, contentment, and peace, but most of all, it's the path of simplicity. In a world full of distractions, simplicity becomes the most powerful choice we can make. It is not about doing less, but about being more, being present, being awake, being here now. Let's pause for a moment, take a deep breath, feel the weight of the air as it enters your lungs. Isn't that enough? This breath, this moment, this life. As it is, this is where happiness begins, in the simple, in the now. And this is the beauty of simplicity, it's always available, we don't need to go anywhere to find it, we don't need to wait for a perfect life, we just need to clear away the clutter, both in our minds and in our lives. You've already taken the first step simply by listening, by opening yourself to this idea of living with less, but with more presence, more connection, more joy. And now, my friend, you have the power to choose. Every moment is a new opportunity to return to simplicity. Every decision is a chance to choose peace over pressure, contentment over craving. It's time to return home, to the essence of who you are, to the life you've always been meant to live. Remember, the wealth of enough is within you, always. So ask yourself today, and every day moving forward, what can I simplify? What can I release? To make room for more peace, more joy, and more love. As we wrap up this journey together, I want to leave you with a gentle reminder: simplicity is the gateway to peace, and peace is the gateway to true happiness. If you found something in this journey that resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Take a moment to reflect and drop a comment below. What is one thing you'll simplify today? And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more wisdom, peace, and inspiration on your path toward living a simpler, fuller life. Thank you for being part of this journey with me. Until next time, may your path be simple, and your heart be full. This is Zen Buddhism Wisdom, and I'll see you in the next one.